Howdy, boys and girls. I'm Kris Keefer. Welcome to RacerXOnline.com. And you guys asked for it. You guys have been up my you-know-what about more CRF250R content. Well, here we are, 2023 Honda CRF250R garage build. I have ridden a couple bikes with dual injection. It actually makes a huge difference, especially for you bigger or lazy riders. You want more bottom end out of your bikes. The Honda does not come with it, but Twisted Development has massaged this with their ECU dual injection system. So I am excited to take it out here, the hills of Glen Helen, to get some more RPM response, some snap, some excitement. 175 pounds, I'm a big guy for a CRF 250R, but I'm excited to ride this thing. Stay tuned, we're gonna talk a little bit about this bike with Jay Clark, and I'm gonna tell you what it's like to ride with another vet rider here today. So I have a guest here today and get you some different opinions on what it's like to have two injectors on this CRF 250R. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I just got finished up here at Glen Helen Raceway. It's about my 800th day here this year. Here with Jay Clark, Dirt Bike TV. This is his build, so I'll let him take over and tell you what he actually did to it, and then I'll try to relay that to you guys that are interested in maybe what it feels like on the track.
Yeah, so I really like the new generation Honda 250. It's a little bit slow stock, but I love a lot of things about it. And last year I spent a lot of time on it, but I left it stock the whole year. And I just wanted a little bit more. So this year we went ahead and Racetech do the suspension for us. And I think they, hopefully did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And so, and it's set up for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then for the motor, we want to keep it pretty simple. We got the FMF system on here, Rekluse torque drive clutch, and we had Jamie at Twisted. We're going to do his ECU. And I go, hey, why don't we just, putting a dual injector on this isn't nearly as easy as a Yamaha. Yamaha, it's
so
right
it's a
there.
little bit more of a pain.
Way more involved.
Okay.
Because they have to have it. They really need you to send your airbox in, or they use another airbox because they have to modify it significantly to make it work. So it's a way more involved than a Yamaha. So they have to modify the airbox, and hopefully we can get some pictures of that. But they have to modify the airbox and get that dual injector in there. And then, of course, they map it and dyno it for that. We didn't do any other work. We could have gained a lot more by doing some porting at the same time and all that. Just wanted to keep it kind of simple, just to play with that kind of idea of a dual injector, kind of a, easy, lower cost mod. But any mods to 250s, as you know, are kind of involved.
I would think like a dual injector would be quite expensive.
Yes, yeah. Because if you get an ECU from Jamie, that alone can be $700 to $800, plus depending upon mapping and so forth. So,
right.
So it's expensive. Whenever you're modifying 250s, especially, there's a lot involved.
So before he goes on with more of the trinkets and the other things that we have on this build, so for me on the track, like I said at the top of the show, I have ridden with second injectors on a Yamaha, and for me, on that bike, it was better than putting a GYTR head on it. That was unbelievable feel, like I get a lot of low end, it pulls really far on top. With this Honda, you don't get as much bottom end as a Yamaha, but it kind of splits the difference. Some of the best 250s that I've ridden are your big bores. Yeah. So Honda, we had a Honda 270. One of the most fun bikes I've ridden in a long time as far as 250s go. This kind of splits the difference as far as bottom end. So if you want more bottom end, and you don't want to put a big bore in it, a a second injector is a really good choice for you vet guys out there that want a little bit more low end and some more bottom end up some of these hills, and you don't want all of that 450 power. So, for me, and maybe you can interject here, it's reliable power.
Yes, so since we're not messing with the valve train, we're not putting in a race cam.
Correct.
You can go a lot longer on intervals. As you learned with your boy racing, when you're racing and you're putting in valve components and cams, you're definitely going to need to change that valve train parts out way more often. So this is keeping it way more reliable, stock.
So this is a good option for you guys out there that don't want to go into your engine, but yet you want more low end, you want more pulling power. You're getting a lot of that mid to top end pull from the vortex itself, and then you're adding that second injector that gets you that response. So this would be a good option for you Honda guys. Just like Jay said, the Honda isn't known for a lot of low end torque, and if you want a little bit more than that, then this is a good option. So
yeah, for sure. And I love the bike, and we wanted to make it look a little bit snazzy and different, and the all white seat does that.
When I first saw it, I was kind of shocked with the red chrome, right?
Right. And so this is a cool thing that I work with Decal Works a lot, and so do you. And they're always coming out with cool stuff. Now, maybe it's not practical for everyone. It is difficult to install. I will tell guys, if you're not good at installing graphics, I would stay away from this.
Does it have a different feel to it?
Well, you don't get a second chance. If you get it on there and peel it back, it's gonna leave a mark. You can kind of see it. So on this stuff, you want to have somebody that's really good doing it, or you can, if you're ordering new plastic anyway, they'll install it for you at Decal Works and send it with your plastic. So that's another way to look at it. But this stuff looks really cool, really pops off. So really kind of a fun thing. And it looks really good. And of course, I got a lot of the companies that I use a lot with our ODI IMIG lock-on 2.0s on our CFT bars, which I kind of like having a crossbar.
You're a crossbar guy, huh?
I do like it on moto. On trails, I run no crossbar.
Is it a visual thing for you?
I think so. I think it's kind of cool, and I am old, even older than you, and I think that's kind of a thing.
Right.
So, but I can ride them without. But it is kind of a cool feeling, and the CFT bars don't feel as restrictive as some other crossbar.
And that's one thing I did notice. Jay is right. Like, I've ridden with crossbars on other brands, and they're super stiff. I'm very sensitive to rigidity, and I didn't get a lot of that here. I didn't get a lot of vibration, so that's a plus.
Right. And so I think with that, and of course we got our Dunlop tires. I put an MX-14 on because we love that at Glen Helen, ripping up the hills. We do. And it's just awesome. Pro X chain and sprockets, and a lot of the same big companies we use with Works Connection. And Scar foot pegs, a lot of our good core companies that you guys can all see listed out. We got to say everybody, but that's
so
good times.
Honestly, when I do these builds with Jay, like, most of the suspension work is for Jay, right? So I was actually pleasantly surprised. Usually with Jay stuff, I can tell if it's soft or not from the first lap. So when I first got on this bike today, Glen Helen, after Talladega, there's a tabletop that dives in to a left-hander that goes uphill. I can tell if this thing was soft, and actually it does have a lot of hold up for me, considering it's set up for Jay. So the action that the suspension gives me is plush, but yet it has a lot of hold up. Usually when I use the word plush, it means a lot of diving, and I don't like that. So it actually had some plushness, had some hold up. So I think that's going to be a really good setup for you.
On a side note, I'm going to plug something.
Okay.
And you did a podcast just recently, and you go through all those terms.
Yes.
I listened to the whole thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did you get smarter?
Yeah.
Was it too confusing?
No, not too bad. I mean, I was driving. It gave me something to do. And
Basically, it was a pity podcast for Jay Clark.
But
he was driving.
But it was good. I agreed with most all the descriptions, and it was easy. I think a lot of people have a hard time explaining, like you said, to their local suspension guys. So that's what's really helpful with that podcast, is it would help somebody then describe it to people. I get people writing me and wanting some magic,
setting.
Right. Like I can't tell you your clickers for 2014. Correct. Yeah, like sorry, buddy. Like we don't know, and we don't know how fresh your stuff is and everything. Who knows? So that's a tough thing, but it's good. It's a good educational pod for them to learn some terms.
Correct. That's what we do here.
Okay.
So the Honda, very fun build. If you guys are looking for a little bit more meat and you still want a bike that corners well, and basically it's just a friendly bike. Jay's right. Like, I'm a fan of the Honda. It doesn't do anything really bad. It doesn't have that rigid feel like the 450 has, and it turns really good. So if you have trouble with cornering, the Honda is actually a magical bike for you, and getting a little bit more bottom end doesn't hurt. So obviously that dual injector helps. So we're gonna probably hit one of these up here again soon, I would imagine, right?
I sure hope so. I'm gonna go get some more laps on this right now.
Yeah, so he's chomping at the bit here, so we'll wrap it up. Don't forget, 12 issues, $30, Racer X magazine. There is a publication out there with different stuff other than what you see here online. And don't forget, if you have any questions about these bikes, Kris at KeeferInkTesting.com is my email. And we'll be back next month with another garage build. See ya.